Welcome to the 2016 OCFOA Instructional Series. Today's topic is mechanics. We will discuss 3-man, 5-man, and 7-man mechanics. I'm your host, Mark Andrews. Let's start with 3-man mechanics. Before we begin, I'd like to point out that all the games that we are using for this instruction are being officiated by a 7-man officiating crew. We will highlight the differences in areas of responsibility and keys between 3, 5, and 7-man mechanics. On this first play, we have a trips formation to the head linesman's side of the field. The yellow arrows indicate the players on the offensive side that are the keys for the head linesman. The red arrow indicates the line judge's key. Even though the left tackle is not eligible, the line judge must observe his actions for possible fouls. In addition to these keys, both flanks must keep an eye on the running back, indicated by the blue arrow. If the running back goes in motion, the flank that he is moving away from is responsible for the legality of his motion, while the running back becomes an additional key for the flank who he is moving towards. At the snap, both flanks have the responsibility to determine that it was a clean snap. Once the ball is snapped, both flanks will hold their positions. The line judge has the responsibility to make sure there are no fouls involving the offensive tackle on his side. The head linesman has the responsibility for the line of scrimmage and must hold that position. Both flanks are responsible for fouls by the defense on their keys. The two receivers highlighted will run a crossing route over the middle. Once the line judge has determined that there are no fouls by or on the tackle on his side, he should drift downfield to develop an angle for a potential pass. The line judge should be approximately at the 40-yard line when his receiver has reached the 45. Ultimately, the line judge should end up at the 45-yard line on this play. The head linesman has the line of scrimmage for ineligibles downfield, and his receivers are his priority. The head linesman does not have offensive line holding responsibilities. That is the responsibility of the referee, who also has the responsibility of protecting the quarterback. We will now move to a discussion of 5-man mechanics. As you can see, we're using the exact same play as the previous example for the 3-man mechanics. As before, the head linesman's key is indicated by the yellow arrow, and the line judge's key is indicated by the red arrow. The back judge's keys are indicated by the green arrows. Just like in 3-man mechanics, the flanks are responsible to determine that there was a clean snap. While the umpire has primary responsibility for identifying ineligible receivers downfield, the head linesman and line judge can assist judging ineligible receivers. Because the line judge has help from the back judge, he should not be in a hurry to drift downfield. Both flanks need to be aware that many times teams will run deep patterns to clear an area in order to dump a pass to the running back. Once again, we'll see the receiver on the weak side run a crossing pattern with the second receiver on the strong side running underneath. Keep an eye on the defensive player highlighted. This action is the responsibility of the referee, while the activity on the right side of the line involving the tackle is the responsibility of the umpire. Finally, watch the running back. Both the head linesman and the line judge are responsible for fouls against the running back and should be aware of the potential for a dump pass in this area. Ultimately, the pass is thrown to the line judge's key, but the back judge signals incomplete. This is a proper mechanic. All other officials should be signaling to kill the clock. Finally, let's talk about 7-man mechanics. Again, we're using the same play. Once again, the line judge's key is indicated by the red arrow. The head linesman's key is indicated by the yellow arrow. The back judge's key is indicated by the green arrow. The pink arrow indicates the field judge key, and the purple arrow indicates the side judge key. Just like in 3- and 5-man mechanics, responsibility for the legality of motion is on the flank official who the player is in motion is moving away from, even if that player then turns around and comes back towards that official. If a player does go in motion, then the original keys may change. A snapshot needs to be taken at the moment the ball is snapped. The determination of the keys must be made at that point based on the mechanics designated for that type of formation. Once again, we see the receiver's routes highlighted. Note the flanks do not move and should not move until the ball is beyond the line of scrimmage. As stated earlier, the actions of the offensive left tackle are the responsibility of the referee. The activities of the remaining offensive linemen are the responsibility of the umpire. Let's take a look at the action on the right and left side of the offensive line. Let's move on to a new formation. This is a balanced formation. As in our first example, the red arrows indicate the line judge's keys and the yellow arrows indicate the head linesman's keys. As I stated previously, both flanks have responsibility for the legality of any motion and will pick up any receiver moving in motion towards them as an additional key. At the snap, the flank officials are responsible for determining that there was a clean snap. Once the flank officials have determined that we have a clean snap, and the line judge has determined there is no foul involving the left tackle, the line judge should start to drift downfield. The head linesman will hold the line of scrimmage. So let's take a look at the play. The player highlighted is the intended receiver. These yellow lines show the routes the receivers will run. Note the back begins his motion at the snap towards the line judge and is therefore the line judge's responsibility. At the snap, both flank officials will hold their position. The line judge observes the actions of the left tackle and the defender he's engaging. Once he has determined that no foul has been committed, he can drift downfield. As the camera pulls back, we will see the line judge come into frame. Note he is sidestepping down the field, keeping his focus on his key. When the pass arrives, he is in great position to rule on fouls and catch no catch. Let's take a look at the keys in a five-man mechanic. Again, the head linesman's keys are indicated by the yellow arrows. The line judge's key is indicated by the red arrow, and the back judge's key is indicated by the green arrow. We already know the back will be running his route toward the line judge, and therefore the line judge must pick him up as well. While the umpire does not have any assigned keys, he does have responsibility for turning and observing action during short passes over the middle. That's exactly the type of play we have here, and you will see that even though it's the back judge's key who is the intended receiver, the umpire correctly rules on the incomplete pass. Let's watch the umpire one more time in slow motion. He is watching the action at the line and observing the quarterback's actions. As the ball is released, he correctly reads a short pass and lets the ball turn him. Once the play is ended, he correctly rules an incomplete pass. With a crew of 7, the keys in a balanced formation are assigned as shown. The head linesman's key is the second receiver in on the head linesman's side, indicated by the yellow arrow. The line judge's key is the running back, indicated by the red arrow. The back judge's key is the second receiver in on the line judge side, indicated by the green arrow. The deep flanks always have the widest receivers on their side of the field. The field judge has the widest receiver on the line judge side of the field, indicated by the pink arrow. The side judge has the widest receiver on the head linesman's side of the field, indicated by the purple arrow. Once again, the flanks have the responsibility for players in motion and the legality of that motion. Those players in motion may ultimately change the keys depending on their final position at the snap. Even with the 7-man crew, the umpire is the correct official to make this call. Watch the actions of the deep flank official on the head linesman's side after the play is dead. He is moving in at a 45-degree angle towards the center of the field. Deep flanks need to accordion in after every play if they have no other duties on their sideline. They should observe dead ball action and develop a big picture look at the field of play. Let's move on to a new formation. This is a balanced pro set formation. As in our first example, the red arrows indicate the line judge's keys, while the yellow arrows indicate the head linesman's keys. In this example, you will see the head linesman throw a flag for encroachment by the defense. Because this is a college game, this is not a dead ball foul, but in high school, we would kill the play when the encroachment occurs. Just like in the two previous plays, both flank officials have responsibility to determine that there was a clean snap. Both flank officials should pay attention to the actions of the tackles on their side and their opponents. Once the line judge has determined that no foul has occurred, he should begin to drift downfield. This particular play involves an interception, and responsibilities change once the change of possession has occurred. Both flank officials have responsibility for determining catch no catch and if the receiver is down. All three officials need to be aware that interceptions are situations that lend themselves to blindside blocks. If a blindside block occurs and it's judged excessive, it is a personal foul. In addition, the referee now has goal line responsibilities, but he must also continue to protect the quarterback from excessive contact. Let's move on to 5-man mechanics. As in previous examples, the yellow arrows indicate the head linesman's keys. The red arrow indicates the line judge's key, and the green arrow indicates the back judge's key. You may have noticed that initially the running back appears to be a blocker, but then will run a short route to the head linesman's side. The head linesman is responsible for this potential receiver as well. Just like in all of our examples and mechanics, the flank officials are responsible for motion and the legality of that motion. All officials responsible for keys need to be aware that those keys may change based on the formation at the snap. The flank officials should hold their position, make sure there's a clean snap, and observe the actions of the tackle on their side. On this play, all of the officials, with the exception of the referee, could potentially rule on catch no catch. Once the interception has been completed, eyes need to move off the ball carrier and instead to areas of responsibility, paying close attention for illegal blocks and personal fouls. We've already reviewed the keys for a crew of 7 in a balanced formation. Once again, the head linesman's key is the second receiver in on the head linesman's side, indicated by the yellow arrow. The line judge's key is the running back, indicated by the red arrow. The back judge's key is the second receiver in on the line judge's side, indicated by the green arrow. The field judge has the widest receiver on the line judge's side, indicated by the pink arrow, and the side judge has the widest receiver on the head linesman's side, indicated by the purple arrow. Once again, the flanks have responsibility for players in motion and the legality of that motion. Those players in motion may ultimately change the keys depending on their final position at the snap. At the snap, the flanks will hold their position at the line of scrimmage. The deep flanks and the back judge will maintain a 20-yard cushion from their keys. Once the interception occurs, responsibilities change. The deep flanks are now responsible for the progress spot, and the flank officials have goal line responsibility. Let's take a look at this play one more time. There are actually 2 potential personal fouls here. One's not committed, the other one, well, you make the call. Let's see if you can find them.